All right, good morning. My name is David Danzig. I'm Chief Deputy at the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. I'm joined by Police Chief Anthony Holloway of the St. Petersburg Police Department. I'm going to give you a quick briefing on the events that occurred this morning regarding an officer-involved shooting by the St. Petersburg Police Department. As you guys know, this is an ongoing and fluid investigation. The information I'm going to provide is what we know at the time. It's subject to change as the investigation unfolds today. So St. Petersburg Police received a call at approximately 4:10 this morning about shots fired in the area of 2800 Fremont Terrace South, which is behind me here. Officers were on scene within 4 minutes. The first two officers that arrived were Officer Austin Hurd, Austin Heard, and Officer Steve Blanda, Blanda. The call notes indicated that there was a subject dressed in all black that had been firing shots in this particular area. Officers Hurd and Blanda parked over on 28th Street, exited their vehicle, and began approaching from east to west down the alleyway towards Fremont. When they got down to the end of the alleyway, they came out and encountered a parked van on the street. Standing in the doorway of the parked van was a gentleman dressed in all black that fit the description, and he had a handgun and a cell phone in his hand. The officers then began giving the subject commands to drop the gun. They identified themselves. Police, drop the gun, drop the gun, drop the gun. During this conversation, the gentleman turned and pointed the gun towards them, turned and raised towards them. Officer Hurd then fired between 2 and 3 shots, striking the subject in the abdomen area. After he was shot, the officers moved up and provided first aid until fire rescue arrived. The subject is named Vernon, Vernon A. Miller, Miller. He's 47 years old. He was transported down to Bayfront Orlando Health, and he's in critical condition down there. He is a 4-time convicted felon from what we know at this point, but we're still looking into his criminal history. I'll take any questions.
Was he trying to target a specific person?
So that we don't know at this point. We have not been able to locate the original caller. There is a gun, obviously, that was present. That's at the scene, in the scene now. There's a spent shell casing in the scene that does not appear to be a law enforcement round. So we have not been able at this point to locate the original caller of the shots fired, but there is evidence to suggest that he had fired a shot with the shell casing on the ground. We don't have a victim of that at this point.
Were there any words exchanged or anything said?
Between the officers and him?
Leading up to it? Yeah.
No, the officers came down the alleyway. When they came out of the alleyway, obviously their attention was drawn to him because he was standing in this doorway of this van, and they immediately saw that he had a gun, and they started giving him commands, and they said that he said some things back, but it was kind of just mumbling back, if you will, back. It didn't appear to be anything that was of significance.
Did the subjects shoot in a home, and was this on body cam video?
Yeah, so the officers are wearing body cam video. Yeah, they had their body cameras on. As far as the suspect shooting,
Yes.
so there's no evidence that there's any shot homes at this point, but we're still out canvassing. We haven't received any calls of that. There's a spent shell casing that's not law enforcement that's at the scene where the suspect was, but we don't know where that round went at this point.
Are the officers on administrative leave?
That would be a question for Chief Holloway.
Yes, he'll be placed on administrative leave and pending investigation.
Do you have to his name? Does he live in this neighborhood?
So from what we can tell at this point, he may be living in the van. The van shows evidence that he's living in the van. It looks like from just a cursory look at St. Petersburg's history with him, it looks like the officers have had contact with him recently, and he's been identified as being homeless or transient. So it looks like he may be living in the van, but I'm not 100% sure.
Just to recap real quickly, when we got the call around 4:10, it was because there were reports of shots fired in the neighborhood?
Correct, in the area, yes. The specific address that the call came in for the shots fired, it was the 2800 block of Fremont Terrace South. So the officers parked back behind me off of 28th Street and got out on foot and were coming down the alleyway just south of there to approach that area on foot.
Do we know where the suspect was shot?
In the abdomen area.
What time again?
The call came in at 0410 and the officers were here within 4 minutes, so 4:14.
Is FDLE involved?
No, ma'am. So, as you guys know, the Pinellas County law enforcement, we have the Pinellas County Use of Deadly Force Task Force. So, under that agreement by all the police departments, the police departments don't investigate their own officer-involved shootings, so the task force is investigating it. The Pinellas County Sheriff's Office is the lead on the task force investigation this morning, along with the Pinellas Park Police Department and the Clearwater Police Department. So St. Petersburg Police will not be conducting the investigation. We will conduct an independent investigation of the shooting.
Chief, how are your officers? Obviously, this is a scary situation that they have to run into danger.
The officer's a little bit shaken up, just like anyone else, but he'll be fine. And then, like I said, the suspect is in critical condition. So we're going to be monitoring that. Again, the officer's going to be placed on administrative leave, paid administrative leave, but he also has to go through several testing before we put him back on the road.
Does anybody have anything else?
What's the spelling of the suspect?
Yeah, so it's Vernon, Vernon, middle initial of A, last of Miller, Miller, and his birth date is January 25th of 1977, so he's 47 years old. And then as far as the officers, Officer Hurd has been on the department 1 year, and Officer Blanda looks like he's been on it about 2.5 years on the St. Petersburg Police Department. Anybody else have any other questions? Thank you.